Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here. Hello, hello. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are happy. I hope that you are just feeling good and feeling creative. So, thank you for joining me today. We are going to be playing with some more of 49 Dragonflies amazing digitals. This is another design team project video, and I want you to join me. Come along, get your supplies and such, and we'll just go to town. Okay, so what you're going to need are scissors, glue, stick glue or other glue that you like to use, more of a dry glue, ephemera, of course, and I will link all of Barbara's digitals that I have used in the making of this video so that you can see and go and see if there are some things that might work. They're fabulous. I love using them. So, okay. So it's mostly just paper and glue, you know. Okay. So the inspiration for these tags and pockets came from Wendy with Wendy's travel adventure, something like that. I may be getting that wrong, but I will link her video that I watched. She is using up coffee dyed papers that she has digital images on that she said she's not going to use, and so she wants to make something with her papers, and she has a series of videos that do that. So this is the one on making a tag and a pocket. So the inspiration comes from Wendy. All right, now the way we start is, and aren't these fabulous, by the way? I just, Okay, we'll set those aside. The way we start is to, want to remember exactly. We are going to cut the paper widthwise for this, and she did, I think it was about 5.5 inches, and then, or 5 inches, and then the tag was 5.5 or 6 inches. But so keep in mind that the height of your pocket is where you're going to cut. So you decide how you want that to look. If you want the pocket to be taller and the tag not so tall, then adjust accordingly. Obviously, you don't want to cut your pocket like this and your tag here. That would that you wouldn't see any tag. So keep that in mind. So this one I cut at almost 4 inches. This little pocket I did at 3.5 inches. This is a nice height. This one I did at 4.5 inches, and I believe that this was the first pocket that I made. Actually, that's not true because I have this much space, don't I? So you turn up to make the pocket. So actually this one was more like 5.5 inches, which is right. That's what I did. And that's what she did, was the first one 5.5 inches, so that by the time you fold under, then this is higher than your pocket, or than your, the tag is higher than your pocket. And this one looks like this was about 4.5. Anyway, okay, so let's just do one. I want my tag higher, I want my pocket shorter, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off at the 5-inch. Okay. Then what she does is she folds this. Well, she does, I think she does that after she's done the tag. She folds this in thirds so that all of the tag basically has 3 layers of paper. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And when you add the glue in there and you give it a minute, you know, then, I mean, it's fine. This is stiffer than some cardstock. So it'll work fine. Now, let me show you what I did on one of these. This is some of the coffee dyed paper, digital, of Barbara's that I thought, well, let's make it extra sturdy. And I've covered, let's see, let me get the 2 that I did. This one I went ahead and I just trimmed off the excess, the border, the white border that comes when you print the papers. I just trimmed it, and then I cut this just like I would have my coffee dyed for the envelope, and this is what I had left, which is basically the same here. And then I folded this over into the 3. You can see if you're, here's where that 1 comes. It didn't go perfectly, but this is really good. And see how sturdy that is? So I thought that's a wonderful way to use some of her digital to make a tag this way. That way I don't have to cover it if I don't want to, and my coffee dyed paper, this was given to me, my husband ordered it, and I'll be honest, it's not my favorite, but I certainly would never say where I got it because I wouldn't ever want to hurt, damage anybody's business. But it's just a different way. I like mine a little more heavily stained. And I will tell you another thing on these digitals that I print out of Barbara's. My printer has a tendency to print a little more color, a little more reddish tint. I have been online, I have been on the phone, I have spent hours trying to get the text to help me figure out what it is. And what they basically told me is, well, you don't have a good enough printer to print the true. It's the browns, the tans and browns that I struggle with. The other colors print fine, but the tans and browns, like if I print this, it would have a little more of a pinkish red cast. Now, for me, I'm okay with that once I, spend all that time and effort and was like, okay, either deal with it or, suck it up and get a different printer. But I love pink. And so for me, it's kind of like, oh, well, I didn't have to do anything to kind of get to get that. So just so you know, different printers print different, but what you see, this is my printer's version. Okay, so back to what I was saying. This one is the paper folded 3 times, and it's very nice and stiff, so we can decorate that. This one, I went ahead with this paper first, and then I covered it with one of her neutral backgrounds just for fun. And so you can see this is going on. And then I went ahead and wrapped it over to the back. and glued that down, and then I cut this to size so that I have a smidgen of a border here. So you've got all this for writing. And so this is fun. This was really fun, but this is faster. Okay, this is much faster. Okay, so that's another wonderful use of the digital. Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to glue the tag together, and let me just get a paper so I can glue this without it doing on other things. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my all-purpose Elmer's glue stick. I have no problems with it. Wendy does not like to use a glue stick. A lot of people don't. A lot of people say they just don't glue. But I think more the reality is a lot of people don't put enough of the glue on their project. So let's do that. And the other thing that I always do, and that is I burnish it. I burnish it with my bone folder so that it is really nicely adhered. It's down there. And I've not had problems. I've not had issues with it. But, you know, but I don't know how everybody does theirs. But anyway, you can use your art glitter glue or another glue that you prefer. I would just recommend that you keep it to a more dry glue than a wet glue. Okay, so let's fold this one over, and I'm going to move this out of the way, and now I will go ahead and burnish that down. So, oh, you guys, the weather, it's just been, I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am. The weather, it has been so fabulous these last 3 days. Oh, the sun has come out, the temperatures are warm, the snow and ice, it's almost all gone. It's off the roads for the most part, which is the main thing. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so here's our basic tag. So we'll set that aside and let that kind of continue to dry. All right, now we are going to make our pocket. And what I am doing, I'm not going to just fold this to where it comes over, you know, 1/4 of an inch or so, because I don't want this much space in my pocket. I want it to kind of, you know, feel the space better. Does that make sense? And I want this to kind of be in the center. So I'm just putting my tag in here just to help me mark that just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to fold that over. And I want a little bit of space because I don't want it to be a difficult thing to get my tag in here. All right? And so you see I have a little bit of space on both sides, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be like a tight fit. I prefer it not. So we're going to call that good. And because I don't want all of this, I'm going to fold back a little bit. See, so this is actually about 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. I'll open this back up and I will cut this. And I don't know how to cut a straight line without my ruler. For those of you that can do that, I salute you. I salute you. Okay. So Now we're going to have, so this is how wide it's going to be, and it's going to fit the tag really nicely. Now, how far up do we want this to come? And that will determine how much we fold up. So if I do it down here, less of the tag shows. If I do it here, quite a bit shows. I kind of like that. So we are just folding it across. Give it a good smush. Is smush a word? I think it is. I'm sure it must be. Okay, so now we want to take off the excess and glue up our little pocket. Well, we can embellish and such the front before we glue it. Like for instance, if you want to do some stitching or different things that way, you would do that before you glue it together. What we're going to do is just take away these outside little corners. And I'm going to trim just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but where the fold line goes, just a teeny bit, and angle it towards my point in the corner. And this one I'm going to angle a little bit more just because I like the look. And then I will come over on the other side and do the same. Now I could get this over here and, you know, do that like people do, and that's fine. But I'm just eyeballing it. I think that works well for me. So you got those extra little edges, and this is where it's going to fold in, and then this will fold up, and there is our pocket. Now I want to create a little space, you know, with the cutout that you use a circle punch for. The thing that you have to decide, and it's entirely up to you as to how you want to do it. Now see this one? Let me take the tags out so it's a little easier to see. This one, I didn't take my little notch out until I had decorated the pocket. Because you can see this is where my images were, and I just cut that out. Okay, so that's kind of that look. This is different. What I did was I did this first, and then when I added this stitching on here, I kind of, when I put this, I ripped that down so that it mirrors a little bit, you see. I think both look really nice, so I don't know that I honestly have a preference. And because this is going to be easier, I think this is the one we'll do. I just wanted to show you that you have that possibility of that as well. Okay, so, and then this one I waited until this was done as well, just to show you. And right now, let me show you a difference here. Let's put the tags in. And obviously, I made some extra tags. But I did them the way with, you know, folding them in thirds and that type of thing. I liked, that was a fun way to do it. And let's do this one. And I want to talk just a little bit about this. Okay. Do you like vintage? I do too. I love vintage. Barbara has so many amazing vintage. She's just a wonderful artist, and her work reflects that. Do you like pops of color? I do too. And what I want to show you is you can take, for instance, this can be just really sweet. I mean, this is not flowery at all. And yet, look how beautiful it is. And this, I've only used 3 elements of hers, 4, because I made the pocket with the paper, okay, with the coffee dyed paper. And then I added some of my book page, the Old Dutch book page that I use on almost everything. And I added one of her sweet little note, and this one had nothing on it. She has them where they have little birds and things on them, or you can get them plain. And I love this, the plain. And then, so this only has 1, 2, 3, 4, if you take the words, elements, and it's just as sweet as can be. So it doesn't have to be flowery. It's beautiful. But at the same time, I also love, this to me is very, very shabby chic, but it's also got that wonderful vintage vibe. These are old laces and things that I have used, with the exception of this. Well, I don't know how old this is, in all honesty, because it comes raw, and I picked it up in a thrift store on a roll where there's a whole bunch of this and it's white. But I would say probably at least in the 1960s, somewhere in there. That was kind of a popular 60s, 70s thing. But this is vintage, and this button is definitely vintage. And then, of course, these all look vintage. So, but you've got the pop of color. I've added buttons, and here to give you an added texture to look at and dimension and color, I've actually, threaded or sewn the button, put the thread in there, and added a little embellishment here. This is fabric that I have. And so this is definitely, you see the difference. They're both beautiful, but they're very different. And I like that. I mix mine up a lot. So the tag, I think, is wonderful as well. This is the one I was telling you about earlier. And there again is some of my favorite book paper. And this is from Barbara as well. This music, the breathe. This is another one of her words that she has several. This is new floral in her store, and I am loving, love these. So I had to have that. And then look at this butterfly. Is that just the sweetest, darling butterfly? So then I have just done some layering. I've added this to keep the color and keep it matching. This is my own artwork. It was kind of what do you call those cloths when you're doing, you're using your brayer and you're just kind of cleaning off your papers and your paint? That's what this was, basically. This is from Barbara. Let's see. If I can grab one here real quick, let me show you. She also has these sweet little collages that I have just ripped around with my tear ruler. And so sometimes you just put a whole piece down. Looks like you've collaged everything, but it takes, a lot less time. And then she also has this amazing, she's got two really sweet vintage snippets, and they're long. Let's see, do I still have a long one? I may have used it already. I've been using this stuff up, let me tell you. Okay, but this is a part of it. And so I have added that to this tag, and then the music here, and another wonderful vintage image from the cabinet cards. And then here is a gorgeous little flower. This butterfly, it's just the only thing here. This is paper that I had, and then this is ledger paper of mine that I've just had on hand, and I just grabbed it. And then I added some little bit of washi tape here. So, but you can see how gorgeous you can make them. You can dress them up with ribbons. You can bring out the colors with what you add to your tags. And I love this. I love this. I think it's gorgeous. Very happy with that. Okay, where were we? I digressed, I think. Where am I? Who am I? I think we had just done this and we were talking about decorating this, right? And then we have this tag that will fit in. Okay, so this is going to be nice. Now, Wendy didn't decorate the back of hers, and I'm not decorating the back of mine because I'm making assumptions that I'm going to put these in journals, glue the pocket on. You probably already know this. I'm sure you've seen it a bazillion times, and I've mentioned it before myself in some of my videos, but when you're gluing a pocket onto a journal page, don't glue on the edge. Don't do that. Why don't I want to glue that on the edge of the page, you say? Well, I'll be happy to share with you. When you glue out to the edge, this is stuck on firmly. And if you have a bulky tag, or you have more than one tag, it's always going to be a bit of a struggle to get it in and out. What I do is I glue in about 1/4 of an inch, and I will glue on the edge at the bottom to that 1/4 of an inch. And what that does is it gives my pocket just a little bit of room to play. So it lifts up, but it's still securely down. So there's just a fun tip for you as you're making your tags in your pockets, gluing those pockets in. Okay, let's go ahead and decorate. Let's see, I kind of described this tag for you. Let me describe this one too, and then we'll decorate. So I wanted to make a bigger one because this was the first pocket that I made, and I did it with the 8.5 wide, and I only have about 1/4 of an inch here. And so I had a really rather large pocket, and I didn't want, let's see, I'm trying to think of which one it was. It may have been this one. I'm not sure, in all honesty. But I had a lot of loose space here. And so I thought this would be fabulous to have 2 tags in it. Now, this is another, and this is new too. It's you can find it in Barbara's store, and of course I'll have all the links for you there. These papers are so cool. I have to show them to you. And then I took one and I folded it and made a tag. It's like, oh, this is too wonderful. And all I did to this one, this is all part of the image. So I added a butterfly, same type as this one. I added a little floral, and this is in her new floral. She's got a page with several French florals. So I used that, and from her black words, I cut out curiosity. So I added 1, 2, 3 things because it was just this pretty, and that would have been beautiful too. I would have been happy either way. But I just thought, oh, so pretty. And look how well it matches. This is another one of her designs. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys. She just got some really fun things. See these? I took this and put it here. I took one of those little collage pieces that I told you about. I took one of those and tore it down just a smidgen, put it right there. And then I took one of her little notes. Let's see, do I have a page of those notes to show you that has not been cut up? And maybe I don't on that. Just a sec, I'm double checking here for you. Oh, okay, here we go. Here are the two snippets that I was telling you about earlier, okay? So I've just used part of that. So I have taken these notes. For this one, I used this image right here and just cut it out, and I added a little bit of my own stamp. I have this, and I just put a little bit on there, and then I have this washi tape that I put where this was, ripped that down and put that on, and added a butterfly from, she has a butterfly sheet as well. And I mean, I'm loving it. That is all I did, literally. I did not do anything else. So it's just a matter of cutting and gluing and sitting back and going, wow, this is pretty. Right? Okay. Let me put that back together. Oh, excuse me. And this is basically the same kind of a thing that I've done with this one. Just added a little more layers. Excuse me, I'm going to have to get a drink. I am too wordy. Oh, you guys. Okay, so I'm just loving it. Let me think. Where am I now? I know I've just been super excited to share this with you, and so I get going on one thing, and then that leads me to another thing. Okay. Breathe, Rhonda. Breathe. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to turn this into a pocket. And I'm going to go ahead and do my... Maybe take another sip and see if that helps. Okay. I think what we'll do is we will go ahead, I will kind of recreate one of these to show you how easy it is to go ahead and do. Let's see which one. I'm not going to recreate this one because this takes a little bit more time and effort, and you know, you need to have some fabrics and whatnot. So I want to keep it really, really simple. So let's use this as our guide. And we will go ahead, and you can actually take, for this one, let's go ahead and use Barbara's, one of the music sheets that she has. That will work just as well as my book page there. And we will just, you saw what I did, just kind of my measuring that way, right? Okay, so we'll put that out of the way. We're going to put this here, and I will go ahead and cut that out. So I am going to want to add some, this is Vintage Photo. I'm going to go ahead and work this all the way around. I know this is, everybody does it differently. A lot of times I will lay mine down and do it this way. It just uses more ink, but you know, it's faster, I think. And let's go ahead and vintage this up a little bit more, make those fold lines kind of pop out. That also gives it a layer of texture for your work. So what have you been working on? What has gotten your interest, my friends? I'm going to do this. I have just been kind of having fun myself with these, you know, with the envelopes and the pockets and that kind of thing. I don't know. I've not really done a lot with that, and so this is kind of fun for me. I'm going to keep that there, and we'll just... And I have also been tidying up my studio. Oh my goodness, you guys. Studios can get so messy so fast. So I like the look of having all of this show. If that's not a look you like, then obviously you go ahead and don't do that step. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and I could stitch this on. That's what I did here. I stitched that on. But because this video is going so long, I'm just going to skip that and just say, for those of you that like to stitch, go for it. If that's not your cup of tea, then don't worry about it and just glue it. I've got my art glitter glue. I'm going around the edge. And I have used my decal ruler on this. And we will just kind of center that a little bit. Okay. That's looking good. Now we want a little something. I'm going to take one of, like I said, I wanted to kind of mirror what I had done on this one. So I want a blank little note, or one that I can, that might could work. Aha. Aha, ha ha. Aha, she said. Okay, I think we'll use this one. Okay, we'll set these others out of the way. All right, so let's go ahead again, and we want to just go around the edges of this. That's why these all, you guys, these all work so well together. And this would also be really nice if you wanted to do something in like blues or grays. This would look really pretty that way as well. Okay. By the way, I love my sponge daubers. I know you wanted to know that, right? And so now I want a small image. And let me show you what I did. Here is the original cabinet card set. This is in set 2. I have both of the sets. So you can use this size, which is amazing and would go so well on, you know, on a larger tag or page or whatever. But I also wanted the ability to have them go on smaller items. So what I did was I reduced that down in my printing. This tape, okay, come on, be nice. So I reduced a bunch of the cabinet cards down so that I could have that fun, you know, be able to put one down and trim around it a little bit. So we could use this one. She's kind of fun. She's fun. All right, as I'm auditioning these, you guys, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think here. Oh, all of them, right? Oh, golly, I don't know. I may have to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tigger. Oh. Could make a masculine. That might be kind of fun, huh? Let's do that. Let's just be different and turn it into more of a guy one, just for fun. All right, so we'll set those aside. And we will go ahead then. I think I'm going to trim down just a smidgen on to make it just a little bit smaller. I know, I'm such a wuss because I have to have my rotary cutter and mat board. What are you gonna do with me, huh? All right. You say you're gonna have tea with me? Yay! Let's get together. Oh, it would be so fun to have all of you over for a chat session. Couldn't we just have the greatest time? Oh. I'm using my corner rounder now because I like the look of the corner rounding. I think it gives a really nice look. Okay, now I'm just going around this just a smidgen here. Just to, I don't want that light part where you trim the paper. I don't want that to show light. I want that to be dark. Okay. Oh, this is looking good. I'm loving it so far. And now we just want a word or a little phrase or something with two guys. And I want to keep it the same as the other one. So I will get out my black. Here are all my black words. Okay, let's... No. Documented. Original. If I enjoy that, so I want to be true. That could work. Let's seek. That would be good. I want one a little longer though, I think. Be brave. Genuine is good. These are all really good words that could work. Wander. My story. That could be good too. It could be a father-son, you know, I'm telling my story about my life. Lucky. Oh, there's so many. Okay, we're going to just put those back and we're going to decide between be true, genuine, or my story. What do you think? What do you think? I can't hear you. One thing I think I'm going to add to this, while you're looking at that, I want to come over and grab another little bit of washi tape. And I think I may go ahead. I'm using washi tape, trying to bring that out in my bullet journals more these days. And I'm trying to incorporate it into more of my work. And I think I may be able to put this over this little tape bit to bring out some of this tannish in here. What did you guys think on the? Okay, we're just gonna go. We're gonna go with my story. I'll go ahead and trim around the black, so take the white off for this particular application. I don't want that to be distracting. For some things, it would be fabulous. Okay, so let's start gluing her down, guys, and we will be done. And I think what I'm going to do, just to save time, is I'm going to go ahead and I will, off camera, I will go ahead and put my finish my tags and different things that way. And decorating, I'm sure that most all of you have decorated tags in one way or another. And so just go for it. Just go for it. Have fun. Enjoy. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Okay, I want to bring that down a little bit so we can see these notes above. I'm loving the looks of this. I'm thinking I'm loving this. Now, ooh, that's sticking on pretty well there. I don't want it quite that wide. So let's see, how does this look? And did I do it long enough? Because I want it to show over, but, and actually you can see just a smidgen underneath it, but I'm good with that. I think it actually adds just another little, with no work at all, it added another little teeny bit of texture there. So let's go ahead here again. Let's get rid of the white, just in case. All right. We will glue, oh my, yes, my art glitter glue is coming out very well, thank you. Okay. Where do I want that? I think that will be good. Let me get the glue off my hands. All right. Oh, we're almost done. Almost done. Oh, before we glue that together, let me get the punch and let's go ahead and take out our little tiny bit. It's so much easier, you guys, to do it before the pocket is glued. Okay. And mine, I've had my paper punch for quite a while, and it's not perfectly, it doesn't do a perfect job anymore. And it would have done a better job had I put another piece of not fabric, but paper underneath there so that it was cutting through more than the one layer. But because I'm hurrying, and now, excuse me, while I go pick up my sponge dauber that flew across the floor. However, the floor that it flew across was just swept before I started this video. Okay. All right, let's glue this. Make sure you do not glue to where you're going to close your pocket. So I glue on the end there, and I glue on this end. And that makes sure that the glue is down really well. Okay? And then this I'll go ahead and glue pretty much around the whole thing. And then you have this fun pocket. It's really easy to do, you guys. You just, oh, so much fun. Isn't that just so much fun? I love that. Okay, so that, I am going to call that good for this video. I hope you will go take a peek at all the fun digitals that Barbara has for you that you can purchase. She also has a lot of freebies on there as well. And until my next video, guys, have a fabulous day. Really, really enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Be the best you can be. Make a difference. Love ya. Bye-bye.